tell you, that cracks me up every time. Welcome to Relationshipping. Yep. Relationshipping is now a verb, people. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, LaDonna Raeh, and alongside with me is
Right. Lorenzo T. Hughes.
Lorenzo T. Hughes,
That's right.
aka
Professional actor,
yeah.
certified human rights and sex trafficking consultant, massage therapist, clinical and orthopedic massage and manual therapist.
Right.
So yeah, that's me.
So,
Uh,
do
what's all that noise?
that's my ringtone. That's actually my dad calling.
Notifications.
Let's see what he has
Oh,
to say.
okay.
Hello,
You
Dad.
gonna be on the podcast?
He is. Dad, you there?
Hello.
Yes. Dad?
For real?
Well, he said hello. Then he hung up. All right.
He realized he just
There he goes. Hey, Dad, what's up?
I'm after do my these I ain't gonna after these 5 hours. I ain't gonna mess with them no more.
Okay, good. What happened?
Nothing. I hadn't had none in years.
Uh huh.
And then one day I took one and it slept so good.
Yeah. But you're not going to
So
drink any more 5 hour drinks.
yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
All right. Bye bye. Good night. So, those of you that are like, what the hell is going on over there? So, my father, my father worked in at the steel mill for 50 years, 50 hours a week for 50 years. And now he just retired about 2 years ago. Unfortunately, he had a stroke. Then he got diagnosed with cancer a year later. And then it goes on and on from there. Congestive heart failure, COPD, and now guess who I get to hang out with on a regular basis? My dad, right? Because I am helping to take care of him. Well, I went over to his house today and found bottles of 5 hour energy drinks.
Woo.
And I'm thinking, where you going? Like, because of his condition, I don't think that's a good mix, you know?
Yeah.
So he got very upset with me. He got real demanding. And I told him, I said, Dad, have at it.
You don't want
And
to miss those episodes of Gunsmoke.
right. And I told him, I said, 5 hour energy drinks, I don't recommend because of your congestive heart failure. He said it helps him
At
sleep.
all.
I
It's
don't,
interesting.
yeah, help you sleep, like crash, because it's what is it, loaded in
Well,
sugar?
it can. I can see it possibly taking you up.
Yeah.
Then that crash can, it might make you feel like it's some good sleep
Mm.
when you crash. Because yeah, I've been there.
Well, all right. Well, I've only had an energy drink once in my life, and that was back in
But
2008. I remember the year 2008, and I didn't like how it made me feel, and I never had another one after that.
yeah,
But yeah, so now he just called me to say he's never going to drink another one again. And you heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. You heard my father say that. All right. So listen, today's conversation is not comfortable, but it's necessary because somewhere along the way, think about it. When people say, I'm never going to do it again, I think about what my dad just said. But you've got these celebrities out here, these rock stars, these individuals that are just so amazingly great at what they do. And because somewhere along the way, we started confusing talent with immunity. We started acting like gifted people don't bleed, don't break, don't make terrible decisions.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. I see where you're going with that one, and
Yeah.
I can definitely agree with you. I can. See, several people that come to mind. When I
Mm-hmm.
think about that, where you are so talently gifted, and somehow it's almost like you're just as you are so much talented, there's a level of ignorance that equates to that
Mhm.
where you do something
Mhm.
that's so outrageous that you think it's like in your mind you think, okay, you have so much talent, why would you
Risk it.
partake or risk
Yeah.
doing such a thing? You know,
Well, before you get into the weeds of it,
go ahead.
let's set it up so that people know exactly what we're talking about. First of all, I want you guys to hit the subscribe button. It's right there somewhere. I don't know where it is. I'm pointing everywhere. Hit subscribe. And if you want to do a live call in, go ahead and give us a comment. And then I'll turn the phone lines on in just a second. But we have a live call in number, which is fun and fun. It's fun to use, especially on this show because we get live feedback at the exact same time. But today we're talking about tension between greatness and accountability. How someone can be world class at what they do and still make the choice to derail everything by doing something stupid. From Hollywood to sports. And now I don't know if you guys heard the news just recently, and I do mean like an hour ago, that Sha'Carri Richardson, who
Mm.
reminds us that even the fastest woman in the world is still human. Pressure is loud, guys. Expectations are heavy. And when the spotlight hits before the foundation is solid, things crack.
Mm.
Lorenzo, she got caught speeding. Let me pull up this article. And it was not just like 70 miles an hour. We're talking about 100. She was doing 100.
She thought she was on Chicago's 94.
Well, yeah, I don't know what's going
Yeah,
on over
that's kind
there.
of normal.
She must have been driving a Dodge Charger.
What,
But,
what was she driving?
well, does it say? Because
I
I'm
think it
looking at,
does.
yeah, I don't see what she was driving, but I do see where she was caught speeding at
Oh,
100
hold on.
miles per hour.
She driving a. Hold on.
You had to put your glasses on?
It almost looks like a Porsche. I can't really tell what that is. Hold on.
Mm. So do you think she felt compelled to speed? Okay, guys, Lorenzo's looking, trying to see what kind of car she was driving. I don't think it matters. I don't care if she was driving
It's a sports car for sure. It almost looks. It has the body of a Porsche, but I'm not sure what that is.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and look it up and let me know. But she was arrested for excessive speeding in Florida. That was on the 29th. So that was just yesterday by the Orange County, Florida Sheriff's Office after allegedly driving 104 miles per hour and passing other vehicles dangerously, according to Fox 4 News. Um, okay.
Now, come on now. She's a sprinter. Like, and to be a sprinter, you have to run what? Fast, right?
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
you know, we've if you grew up during my time period, we watched, Road Runner. We know what the Road Runner is. Beep beep.
Yeah. What's Roadrunner? What's that? Is that a car?
Well, actually, it's a real bird. That runs. It's a cartoon.
Mm-hmm. That was before my time.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
but there's footage that's been shared by outlets where she's supposedly
Ooh,
pleading with officers during the stop.
she was going 104 in a 65.
Yeah,
She wasn't playing.
that's pretty bad. And maybe it felt like she was driving slow because she's used to passing everybody by when she's running. Give her a break. Give her a break. Now, her partner, did you know her partner was in the car with her? He's a fellow
Is that
sprinter.
is that the one that she assaulted in the
But
airport? The same one?
you know what? I think you're right.
Domestic violence case?
Yeah, it just gets
Mm,
more interesting.
yeah,
Christian
yeah.
Coleman was
That's
arrested at
him.
the same
Yep.
time. Yeah.
Wait, they arrested him too?
Yep. Because he had drug paraphernalia
Oh, okay.
and he was resisting arrest. So both of them, I guess she's rubbing off on him or whatever the case may
Okay,
be.
you know what? Let's crack this open.
Oh
You know, of
boy.
the relationshipping
Mhm.
show.
Mhm. Mhm.
So okay, so and this is not to pick on Sha'Carri Richardson. Like, if I'm not mistaken, she's from Kansas City, Kansas. If anybody's listening, put it in the chat. I believe she's from Kansas City, Kansas, if I'm not mistaken. Um, and she had a previous run in with law enforcement where she was arrested for domestic violence. And they had it on video where she's assaulting this. What's his name? Christian.
Yeah, poor Christian.
Yeah, that was him. That name sounds so familiar. So that was him. Where she
Mm.
was assaulting him on video while other airport patrons were watching. And
Well, you said they were
she
poor
said,
patrons? They were bystanders.
well, right, bystanders watching this with their own eyeballs. They even played the video back. They didn't watch, police and airport police. They watched the video, played it back. They even told her that they watched the video, and she still said that she didn't do what they said that they watched on video and
But
what
isn't
witnesses said they saw. She still said she didn't do that.
but does she sound like an ICE agent to you?
Oh my goodness.
What?
Yes,
I'm just
yes.
being real.
So apparently they're still together. So it's like I see this pattern here. So now she's going 104 miles per hour in a 65 mile per hour speed zone.
Mhm.
And so now she's pleading with law enforcement not to go to jail. Now, I wouldn't think that's a arrestable offense. I
Well, I
mean,
think when you go so many miles over, it is.
is it? Okay,
I
I don't
think
know.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's like a
that's a
crime.
lot.
I gotta look
Yeah,
that up.
she was going what, 55 over?
Yeah, that's a lot. That's dangerous
Uh
speeds right there. Because now you're using your car as a
well, reckless driving.
weapon. Yeah.
You think did they get her on that? Reckless driving? Just
Well,
speeding.
let me see. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the
Uh
report. All right.
well, anyway,
Well, wait, before you continue, I want to give people the phone number.
okay, go ahead.
Phone number is 312-357-5141 if you want to get in on this conversation live right here on this podcast. And by the way, I wanted to make mention that I'm trying something new with my hair and I'm trying something familiar with my face, which is called no makeup.
Like the
All right.
storm look.
Please
But
please continue.
um but I love this woman, man. I mean, she's fast. She's a beautiful woman. And and I guess you mentioned in the beginning, she's being human, but see, yes, I would say making mistakes is human.
Mhm.
But at what point do the mistakes that you make you inhumane? I don't think she borderline and really did anything inhumane yet, but I'm looking at this relationship that she's in, and like if you haven't seen the video, you got to pull that video up and watch, you know,
Watch the
Sha'Carri
footage of her
Richardson's
going upside his
video.
head.
Yes, because the disturbing thing for me was when they were arresting her, they were like, "Why are you arresting me? I'm the woman."
Oh,
That
yeah.
that really got under my skin. She felt like that she shouldn't be arrested for initiating an assault with on video and with witnesses. She's assaulting this man. And then when
She felt entitled to her freedom
right.
just
So,
because. Yeah.
I felt like there was a secret, a pact amongst women that they know that they have, and she wasn't being allowed to utilize that get out of jail free or get out of an arrest free
Yeah.
ticket.
Don't even
And
go.
because in so many cases, men are assaulted by women, and women do not, get punished for it. And she felt like she had a way out. And I'm looking at her face, trying to plead with this officer. And I mean, maybe she feels like, I mean, I don't know. Somebody answer the question for me. Do women feel entitled when it comes to breaking the law? Like, is there a secret entitlement that women have? Because like black men, we don't. We so used to being stopped, checked, frisked, and arrested for just being.
Mm,
Like, we just expect it. So I want to know, is there a degree of entitlement that women have
yeah.
when it comes to
Mm,
you know
a
uh
sense of entitlement. Kind of like last week's topic, we were talking about how independent women may just be too independent. And now, does she feel like she can do whatever because of her independence, because of her accomplishments? It kind of ties together. Now, I
right.
just want to give a shout out to Joyce Gator. She says, "Hey, professor, I see you." That was one of my students when I taught a while ago. And it looks like Dr. Lindoria Story, my other student, is also watching. So, hi, guys. It's so good to see you. And thank you so much for your support. And feel free to give us a call, 312 357 5141. And that's live while we are on this podcast. And make sure you share the show. There is a share link if you want to share it in people's inboxes, you can. And you can take the link and put it into a text message to a bunch of people too. So that would be awesome. I would love to get your feedback on tonight's topic. There's been some other, even though this sounds very controversial, because, I think that we've been pulling the race card in so many things. But in this case, I don't know who she was racing. Um, but Sha'Carri, am I saying her name
Well,
right?
you said
Sha'Carri.
you say I'm watching the video and I don't
Uh-huh.
see anybody else in the vehicle with him. Is he in the back?
I, he might have his seat laid
Because
back. You know how they ride.
she has no. He the officer entered. He's talking to her from the passenger side.
Mm.
And she has all her belongings sitting in the passenger seat. So it's
Oh,
just
you know
her.
what? I'm sorry. It says reports also indicate her partner, fellow sprinter Christian Coleman, was arrested at the same time on separate charges, including
Oh,
drug paraphernalia and resisting arrest. So maybe they
so
weren't in the
maybe
same
yeah,
vehicle, but he just happened to get arrested at the same time.
interesting.
Yeah. Apologies.
Well, look, Miss Richardson, if you listening to the show,
She is.
I'm still a fan.
Mm.
Um, like a lot of other celebrities, I just wish we would do better. Oh my gosh,
Okay, so speaking of do better, here's the deal. I've got a list of celebrities that made mistakes while they had great careers. And so I look at like Winona Ryder. I know that was so long ago. It was back, I believe that was in the 90s or in 2001, even when she stole or shoplifted over $5,000 worth of designer items.
Didn't they say she was working on a role or preparing for a role?
No, that's what she said.
Hey,
She
well,
said she was working on a role, but
hey,
that
but
was she still got
look,
in trouble.
look. If you're gonna be the best at what it is, if you're gonna be the best actor or actress, the best thing to do is to get out and train in a real life experience so that you understand.
Yeah. Are all three pizzas is one still cooking cuz I smell it.
I'm not sure. I'm not
Okay, cuz this
sure.
is real life people. I'm sorry. um
I'm not on cooking duty right
okay, I don't want no burnt pizza.
now. All
Uh
right. So I mean, you got a lot of celebrities out there. I mean, you got celebrities who have fallen victim to drugs, alcohol, uh, physical abuse, sexual abuse, and a lot of different things. Oh my goodness. It almost make you afraid to be a celebrity. It's like, man, what's going on in that world where people, I don't know, do success magnify your your inner demon?
mm, mhm.
It's like I'm you know what? I'm sure there's a lot of celebrities out there. Once they reach a level of success, they do a lot of good things. But man, it's the bad ones that stand out. Man, that just stands out.
It does. I think
It's
it gives you a super, I don't know, maybe you feel entitled, maybe. Like Winona Ryder was shoplifting. And so it's assumed that she didn't have any money at that time. But because even though she survived it, it still put her career on ice for years. But now
yeah.
she's in Stranger Things.
Mhm.
Okay, so Charles Jenkins, the
Yeah.
golden voice from BET Sunday's Best. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think he was the pastor that was right here in Chicago that left the his pastoral duties to
Mhm.
pursue or in pursuit of his music career. He just kind of moved on. But he was convicted in massive fraud schemes involving falsified loans and misuse of funds,
Mm.
millions gone, reputation scorched. Um, but that doesn't cancel his greed, even though, all of that came to fruition.
Mhm.
And let's not forget my man, R. Kelly. I love me some R. Kelly. I don't care what people say. The man is talented. I'm sure he still is. I hope he's going to continue singing. What he did was highlighted as being deplorable. I chose my words carefully. And but there was more than just him being involved. Yeah, but he's a musical genius,
Yeah.
hit maker. Okay, but sex trafficking, as you are an advocate for anti-sex trafficking, what are your thoughts on what was done in the 90s that came back to haunt him when it comes to sex trafficking?
Well, listen, it's I don't think it's frowned on upon as much when you're talking about consenting adults. Because people gonna do what they're gonna do. I'm a lover of sex. And I understand. You know, uh, people have their fantasies and their fetishes and things like that. And when you reach celebrity status and you get a chance to participate in the fruits of all of that, you got to be really careful when you start using the term coercion.
Mm,
You know, where where you using specific words to get someone to participate in an act that they would normally be unwilling to participate in.
mm-hmm,
And when you look at their age, especially, see, because now we look in borderline uh taking advantage of children. When you start looking at that, and you're dealing with teenagers who, at a certain age, I mean, you got people who are, well up into their 20s that can't make uh sound decisions on their own. So when we look at, children using coercion uh to lead children into a sexual act, now we start looking at criminal activity. Um and we've seen this across the board, even in, the Catholic churches and things of that nature, where you use your celebrity status to lead someone, especially a child, into a situation that they normally wouldn't participate in. But the thing that we haven't done within these type of conversations is looked at the parents, because you can say, well, these were underage um, girls. Then it's like, okay, if they were underage girls, then if they're underage, then there was a level of supervision that they would have had to have had. And who are you smacking in the microphone?
mm.
I'll wait till you're done.
I'm sorry. I just knew you were gonna keep
Oh,
going, so I had time to eat.
No, but and these are the things we have to be concerned about and ask questions about. Yeah, I believe the celebrity has a duty to protect those and to use their celebrity status not to target someone, but to use their celebrity status to protect as well. Like and just as well as with the parents. Like if because see sometimes you have young girls or even young boys who also have a dream to be an artist and they're looking at you almost like as like a mentor. Uh, so when you take advantage of that vulnerability, see, then it becomes criminal. And like I said, that key word is taking advantage of.
Hmm.
So I love R. Kelly's music, but you know, what he did, I I really haven't went. First of all, I'm gonna say I haven't went and looked at the age group of some of his victims. Um, if they are of age, eh, you know, they had a good time, but that would that would mean we would have to go look at Bill Cosby's situation. These were all consenting adults. This is where I was confused. They were all consenting adults during a time period where drugs was the in thing at that time. Any type of get together, any type of uh meeting entailed, it was like having wine. Having some drugs spread out on the table was part of, the loosening up process. It's like some people like today, some people want to have some marijuana,
I don't
somebody
know if
want to
it's
smoke a
called
joint,
marijuana. It's not the same thing.
somebody want to smoke,
Yeah.
hey, you want to smoke? Oh
Something.
yeah, yeah, they excited. Like it's
Yeah.
almost like having a drink. You want a drink? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like, you want to smoke? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So it's something that's so common in the culture of meetings and conversation.
Well, let's move to our next unfortunate fall, and that's
Oh
Michael
boy.
Vick. Michael Vick was at the
Oh
top of his game. And even though he may not have thought he was doing anything wrong because, well, he wasn't harming any children or humans, he ran a dog fighting ring.
man,
Ended up in federal prison. People do not play about animals. In fact,
yeah,
they're more protected than we are in
you said
America.
it right there.
Yeah.
That
He
that
did the time. He showed remorse. Um, he rebuilt, but his name will always carry the stain. Redemption exists, but it isn't erasure. And I
mm,
think that the mistake that these individuals make, and a lot of individuals make when they get in trouble, when they make a bad decision, when they do the time and they disappear, I think the one thing they need to do is own it. I think as a PR person myself, my recommendation to any client would be, okay, the apology, make sure it's sincere, write it straight from the heart and think about the people that may have been offended or harmed. But after that, you have to move on and you have to move forward. So when you disappear, it gives people enough time to still continue the chatter. But if you face it head on and say, yeah, you know what, my goofy self made the decision and blah, 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 you really have to own it and move forward and let that be a lesson, not just for you, but for others that may have been thinking about doing the same thing. That's the
yeah,
mistake people make. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Have you ever seen a dog fight before?
No. Well, yeah, mine.
It's a vicious. Yeah, it's a yeah. It
Yeah, and
seems
let me just be
It seems
clear.
inhumane.
Hold on. Let me be clear. I did not dog fight my dogs. My dogs
You
got
sure?
into it. Oh, hush. My dogs got into it, and I loved my dogs. Anybody that knows me knows I'm an animal lover. And my dogs, I had two pit bulls. And one day I ran out of food and I was like, the Walmart, whoever I ordered from, didn't bring it on time. They were late, late, and more late. And by the time they brought the food, the fight was over. But one dog went after the other because I only had a little bit, so I split it between the two. And the older dog went after the younger dog and went for the juggler. I had never seen that, but
Oh yeah,
seeing that,
they fight over food,
yeah,
dogs.
and seeing that much blood, it made me. I didn't look at my dogs the same. I had never because my dog was white, my other dog was brown, beautiful dogs. But yeah, they got put down after that because that was a fight I had never witnessed and I never wanted to see it, especially having children. I didn't want to take
Right.
that chance. But but yeah,
Yeah.
that was I know I wouldn't want to watch a dog fight. I didn't want to see my dogs fight,
Yeah.
Again, if you're watching this show, make sure you share the show. Make sure that you well, we're asking. Okay, share the show. Comment. I want to read some more comments. I did see some. I read them out loud and I gave shout outs. But if you want to call us live, feel free to do so. 312 541. No, that's not it. 312-357-5141. That's our phone number if you want to call and talk to us live. Um, what do you think about Wesley Snipes and his tax evasion prison time situation that took place?
Well, yeah. Those are crimes that I call harmless.
Mm,
Harmless crimes, meaning that nobody there was no physical harm that took place. I think when you talk about taxes, I would like to think that most people don't purposely avoid to pay taxes. Do we want to pay them? That's a different story. Most likely not. Because I believe we're overtaxed, illegally overtaxed anyway.
mm,
Like I said, I'm not a tax professional, but I guarantee you that as a society of people, we are overtaxed. Overtaxed. So I think it was a significant amount of money that he owed. And I think when you are an actor, you're considered an independent contractor. You are a business, so you have to pay quarterly taxes and stuff like that. I would think that he would have known that, or he would have had somebody in place that could have advised him. And usually before, now from what I understand, like I said, I've had issues with the IRS. They send you get several notifications, like several notifications before they come after you. Maybe what he owed was so large that they was like, "Oh no, we got to go straight after him." I don't know, but usually they give you you get several notifications, and usually that last one or that second to the last one to light some fire up under you
yeah.
because they start threatening to take stuff, seize stuff, bank accounts, money. They start, yeah, you have a deadline to respond.
Mm.
And the letters that they send when they're about to take action, those are certified letters, signature delivery. Like you got to sign the return slip.
But these things happen, you know what I'm saying? And his
Yeah,
career took a toll. I mean, everybody else's
yeah.
career may not have. They can just, pay the piper.
Um,
But I do want to move to some other people cuz it is tax season and I know
mm,
somebody's going, "You know what? I better I better get my
yes,
taxes together."
yes, yes.
But Kevin Spacey, I don't know if you remember.
Yeah,
I love Kevin
yeah.
Spacey.
See, I love his work.
His work, yeah, he's amazing. But he was canceled for multiple sexual assault allegations. His career was just down the toilet after that. Then let's not forget about Uncle Bill.
Yeah.
That's right, Bill Cosby, convicted of sexual assault. And the reason why I'm thinking like, did Bill really have to drug those women? Everybody wanted Bill back then.
See what. Look, that goes back to what I was saying.
Hmm.
Drugs were the thing during that time.
So what was the problem?
I personally don't think that he drugged them. During that time, you had what was called the casting couch and stuff like that. He might have said, "Hey, I might." If they would have said, "Well," he said, "I would," he would help me get on TV. I would probably believe that more than anything else. Um, but it's that statute of limitations. Like these chicks at this point, we talking, years down the line, you know, uh,
Didn't they get a college education? I didn't see them turning them
man,
degrees back in.
listen. Yeah, but we live in a country that has been set up to where they're able to utilize the tools that they've put in place to that's why you see different degrees of attacks on people. You might have this person who did the exact same thing, but they might get a slap on the wrist. But you got this person right here where they attack 110% with aggression. And we're talking again, we're talking about Hollywood. One of the most racist institutions that we still have that's in control of media. Because we see when you talk about media, we're talking about the devil's playground, which is media. And film and television is a tool that has been able to sway people's thinking in a way that you would not believe. So from television commercials have been able to have been able to get people to buy things that they don't need, buy things that don't work, but to believe in relationships that don't exist, and it's television. It's that powerful. So we're talking about a media that's able to inspire minds. So that's what we're
Yeah,
talking about.
right.
We talk about television, film.
Well, watch this. There are so many people out there that have been either a rising star, an established star, but they decided to make these. I believe they had some people around them that helped them make these terrible decisions. Because I remember having a conversation even with you, and I kind of came to the conclusion I don't think the devil gets in the way of success. Now, if any hate mail you have, just send it to LaDonnaRayShow at gmail.com. The devil doesn't get in the way of success because the more successful you are, the more he can use you. Okay. So why would I want to make you useless? And I think about how a rising star like Jussie Smollett, he was on Empire. His voice was amazing. His acting was off the chain. He was marketable. He had the look. And he staged a hate crime
Mhm,
in my city.
mhm,
I was down for Jussie
mhm.
until when this happened. Now I'm like, look, dude, you wasted police time. You staged something to what? To make Chicago look like a terrible place. That was horrible to me. It was embarrassing. I hate that we even gave it as much time that we did. I remember riding down the streets. I was riding down Halsted, down over in the near the West Loop during Empire, and I was parked or not parked. I was at a stoplight right next to his co-star. Why does his name slip my mind? Jamal. Not Jamal. He played Jamal. Um, what was his brother's name? I'm having a moment.
Um,
The bad kid,
I know
the
who you're
younger
talking
brother.
about.
Anyway, he was in a drop top right next to me, and I was like, okay, he had a girl in the car. He was enjoying life on top of the world.
Right.
And then Jussie, I believe it was a selfish move for him to do that because it kind of made it difficult for everyone else to be on the show. That was wrong of him to do that selfishly. I don't know what for. Maybe he wanted to get more
Yeah,
attention, but he was
yeah,
already getting a lot of attention. But it made it tension, on the screen because now he's got to be out of the country. It's just bull crap, man. It really was a selfish move. And then you got Jonathan Majors. Okay.
yeah,
Jonathan Majors. Didn't he marry Megan Good? Do I have that right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So she's going to help him because he's going to need it. Domestic violence conviction that led to his immediate exile from the industry. You got,
Well, his situation was very interesting though,
huh.
because he had video of trying to run from this
Mhm.
woman. It
Mhm.
was crazy. He was again. It's like he's running from her. So I think that kind of saved him a little bit. It's like it kind of, but then like I said, it highlights women who commit these crimes of violence, and then men are accused as being the perpetrator or the violent one. It's crazy trying to defend themselves.
I think Megan
So
saved
it was
him.
good he was running. So it validated a lot of his statements that he was saying to have the video.
Mhm.
So yeah.
But
So
you
you
know.
guys, there's people out there with ring doorbells and everything. So when you try to set that lie up,
Mm. Be sure the lie sticks, okay? Because yeah, suddenly your video will show up on Ring or whoever else, Nest or whatever. Um, Chris Brown, he didn't miss a beat. Well, no pun intended. Um,
yeah.
yeah, he that was a horrible situation with him and Rihanna.
Yeah.
Domestic violence. It shadowed
Scat.
his career, but he kept making hits. He's an example of just keep it going. Don't cower.
Mm-hmm.
And let
Mm-hmm.
me ask you, Lorenzo, you're an actor.
Uh-huh.
You're on Chicago Fire, and you're one of the characters that come back, you know. So you would be considered a rising star. What
Yeah.
how how much pressure is it for you to make the right decision always, just about in public?
I wouldn't say that there's so much as there is some pressure. There's some pressure because to a degree, you become somewhat as a public figure, and once you become a public figure, um, there's certain standards that and standards and form degrees of ethics
Mm.
that you have to uphold in the public eye, um, because I think the public, to a degree, look at you as a leader, and if you want to consider yourself a leader or a king or a queen, I would like to believe that if you call I think we said on the last
I'm listening. I'm
podcast,
like, huh?
we talked about, and we hear this all the time. We're all kings and queens.
Yeah.
Well, everybody can't be the king and everybody can't be the queen.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are going, all they can be is servants. But if you're going to be a king or queen, you got to ask yourself, what are the behaviors and the ethics of a king or a queen? I mean, being a king or a queen doesn't mean going out and being participating in unethical behavior, uh, carrying yourself in an embarrassing type of manner. So I would like to think that if we're all going to be kings and queens, all of us, then we would take on the role and the behaviors of what a king or queen is. And if you think about it, no one ever really sees the king and the queen. They're
Mm.
rarely out in the public eye, but and when they do come out, people gather just to get a glimpse.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to ask yourself this question: what type of king or queen are you if everybody has access
Well,
to you?
you have to you have to, as William Hall or Will Hall, Alderman Will Hall says, you have to carry yourself right. All
Mhm.
right. Thank you so much. He said, I wanted to show y'all some love. He's so sweet.
Mm.
Um,
Thank you.
and he's actually doing that on a consistent basis. Will Hall has been involved in the community, my old community, and he has really taken it to another level,
Mhm.
addressed a lot of issues, and he even stopped by and gave my dad some love. He
Beautiful.
dropped off some food.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Will Hall. And that's a part of carrying yourself in the public eye with dignity and respect and integrity. Um, take the role, he says. Now,
Right.
I
Take the
also
role.
absolutely. So another example, um, there's a lot of examples actually. I got a long
Heck, even
list.
the Will Smith slap.
Okay, let's talk about it. So Will Smith at the top of his game in front row seat, front row enough where he can just get up and walk a few steps to slap Chris Rock, right? He
Mhm.
felt he felt compelled. I blame his wife. I know a lot of people say it was his decision. It was, but he's married to that
It's
woman.
his.
And the look she had on her face was the look of, if you don't do something, there'll be hell to pay at the house.
Yeah, but see, again, we're in the public eye, right?
Mm-hmm.
If it was me, I would have went backstage.
And and
I,
what will
I
you
would have
do
waited for him. You
backstage?
wouldn't have saw what happened.
Okay.
You would have had. It's not what you know; it's what you can prove. Who said those lyrics?
I forgot.
You forgot.
Who said it?
I, wasn't you playing that song at one point?
I may have been.
Oh,
Did you forget too? That's why you're not answering?
yeah, I forgot too.
Okay.
No, but I would have waited for him. Me personally, I would have waited for him backstage.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been like, you know what? Okay, all right. I would have went on backstage. He would have introduced the next person to come out. I would have scuffed his clothes up a little bit and went and sat back down. And he would have had to come out and tell people that it happened.
Right. No, that's
And
when you dare
they would
him.
have thought it was a joke.
No, that's when you dare him. Don't you, I
I
dare you
dare
to
you.
tell anybody. Remember how it used to be?
See,
You couldn't say anything.
I'm a I you know I'm the type of person I go into a silence. My silence speaks words.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've always been conscious of what I do in public.
Yeah.
I've just always I don't like to first of all, I don't like to embarrass myself,
Mm.
let alone, the people that are with me or the person that is with me. I'm not gonna embarrass we ain't gonna be embarrassed out in public.
Mm-hmm.
That's for daggone sure. I'm not doing that. I'm no, I'm not doing that.
But when I think about the Chris Rock Will Smith slap, number one is it's gonna always be remembered.
It's always gonna
No,
be remembered.
right? But Will Smith bounced right back. Whatever decisions they made behind closed doors, they kept them pretty tight. But it did help Chris Rock's ticket sales, okay,
Mhm.
tremendously, because it just did. He was relevant. He was on top of the relevancy chain, and it allowed for people to be interested in what Chris Rock had to say at his comedy show. So, and it was funny. I watched it, you watched it. It was
Yeah.
kind of funny. But Will Smith came back with that, what was the name of that movie he did where it was I think he was a slave. I forgot.
Oh
Emancipation?
yeah, emancipation.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
it wasn't his best, but I got to give it to him. He kept going and he kept
Yeah.
going. I would have liked to have seen him on Bel Air. Bel Air struggled after the slap. I
Mhm.
would have liked to have seen him play the father
Uh-huh.
of Will in the television show. That would have been epic. But he didn't.
That
They
would have
chose
been.
Marlon Wayans, which did a phenomenal job. But I just think that if Will would have been there, it would have just been so on point because
I,
he he
I
he was Will Smith.
and that could have been uh, you know, yeah.
You think that was intentional that he didn't come on as his father?
It could have been.
Yeah.
It could have been.
Yeah. Well, it
Yeah.
sucks. Is Bel Air
Yeah.
still are they up for another season?
I think they wrapped
Yeah.
their season. I believe they wrapped their season
So are they coming
over
up
there.
for another season or that's it?
I think that it may have been it.
Dang.
It may have been it.
I mean, Ashley can stay Ashley for so long. That's the thing. When you have characters in your television series and the characters grow up
Hmm.
or they take on other roles,
Right.
man, you got a short window to make it pop. But I really loved that show. I really loved it. And Will Smith was I believe he was the executive producer of it,
Oh
correct?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm trying to look and see.
Well, while you look that up, I
It's
want to just remind people go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to the LaDonna Ray Show on Facebook. I mean, on Facebook, on YouTube. And if you want to call us live, you can, which is cool. 312-357-5141 is our phone number to talk live, as long as you see the live button or the live indicator on this podcast. Otherwise, if you try to go back and watch it tomorrow, it's no, we're not answering. We're not answering. While you look that up, Ellen DeGeneres.
uh-huh.
I wouldn't so much say that she made a silly move, but there were allegations, if you remember, that she had a toxic workplace, and
I've
that's
heard
what
that.
ultimately ended her show. And I found it hard to believe or not because she seems like such a fun person to work with. But
I
maybe she had the click thing
but you
going.
know, her demeanor.
Mhm.
Mm, just I could see it.
Really?
Yeah, I could see it.
Man, I'm
I could see it.
I'm almost disappointed that it does show because I really just thought she was but then again, she has a little bit of dry humor that can be taken different than you present it, It
Uh-huh.
can be misunderstood. I have that problem. Um But to create a toxic workplace, though, it's one thing if you're not easy to read, but everybody,
Yeah. And then and sometimes I always ask the question, okay, what may come across as toxic to one person may not seem as toxic to another person.
mm-hmm,
She I can see what it's like if let's say you one of the dancers or a band player for like Michael Jackson or James Brown.
yeah,
They took their artistry to the next level and you had to perform at that level. And if you can't perform at that level, then you're gonna catch some heat. It's gonna feel uncomfortable.
yeah,
So I don't know. I would have to hear or see what toxic seems like. I mean, is
yeah, you're right.
he,
Because do you have people with soft skin or what's going
right,
on? Do you
right.
have? But you have to have a thick skin in this industry.
Yeah, well,
It's not always like Chicago. I think Chicago actors and actresses are wusses.
might say that.
Well, because Chicago is a gangster town, right? Everybody's so tough until constructive criticism creeps in.
Oh,
Then all of a sudden,
yeah.
everybody is either up in arms or feeling offended. It's very difficult to navigate with that. It gets in the way of progress, in my opinion.
It does.
And like, I just want to get the damn thing done. I don't want to coddle and think about your feelings.
Right.
But if you bring it to me, give me an opportunity to redeem myself instead of being toxic yourself. That's where
Mhm.
the toxicity comes in. But yeah, I found that to be very heavy in Chicago. And I don't care who knows it and I don't care
Yeah.
what you have to say about it. But
Yeah.
I've been here all my life and that has been what I've witnessed. I used to be the only female in Chicago hosting a poetry night. The rest were by males. They were hosting poetry nights everywhere. I did it at the Cotton Club, Secrets in Dalton, and
Mhm.
Lord have mercy at Jaguar in wherever I was, but Club Jaguar. But the Cotton Club was a classic place. It was no longer classy, which is probably why they closed. And when when people came out, they they did their poetry. It was great. And sometimes the audience would show some love to Chicago poets because that's where, you're from here, you spit here, and okay, that was cute. But let somebody come from New Jersey or even Mobile, Alabama. Everybody's like, oh my God, that was the best. It was greatest. It was there's so much love shown to people that aren't from here,
Uh-huh.
which is why you hear um the statement that people will leave to become successful and then come back. I just find that that is just unfortunate because if anything, we should love on Chicago's own. Like for instance, public announcement. They were with um they were with R. Kelly originally. It was used to be R. Kelly and the public announcement. And wait, R. Kelly and public announcement, not the public. Forgive me, I
Mhm.
sound like my grandmother. But R. Kelly and public announcement. And then when they split, it was just R. Kelly. And then everybody fell in love with R. Kelly by himself, and public announcement went away. But then they came back, and now you hear people say, "Well, what about it's not it's not easy doing that. It's not but it doesn't mean public announcement didn't exist. We want to sweep everybody under the rug like they don't exist, and I don't think that's right. But let them make it big big. Then suddenly we like, yeah, that's us. That's from Chicago. That's Chicago right there. They could be from Gary, Indiana, and we claiming them. Okay? For real. But I think it's unfortunate that we handle things that way, and it has on the retro of that, people don't like constructive criticism.
Yeah.
You've got people that are in the industry, and I've witnessed this myself. Of course, I've talked to you about it extensively, but this is nothing new. You've got people that are in the industry and they know what it takes, and then they get to Chicago and nobody wants to hear what it takes because they feel like they just got it. No, no.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. I've seen that. I've seen that. Y- that if you can't take constructive criticism, then you refuse the opportunity for growth, especially when it's coming from someone that's looking at you from the outside or someone who's of sound reputation trying to give you advice and you think you already got it. And most people think that, they think they already got it. Um, and that's the beauty about me myself growing up like in combat sports. You're gonna learn right away you don't got it.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
like you're gonna learn right
you're
away
gonna learn today.
that you ain't got it.
Yeah.
And but you'll have people who, especially in the arts, man, they happy. Some of them are happy with where they're at.
Mm.
You like I've had people asking me about if I have any movies on Tubi. I don't want to be a Tubi movie actor.
Mhm.
I've seen that work. And I'm not saying that I'm not ridiculing, those of you who have movies out on Tubi, but I've seen the bad sound quality, I've seen the bad acting, I've seen the bad lighting, and I'm at a degree of where I like to say that I choose quality over volume,
Mhm.
meaning that, you know, if it means I have to do less work to do only quality productions, then that's what I'm going to do. I mean, I choose quality over, volume.
Amen. And it's this spills over not just in the industry but in corporate America,
Hmm.
in at the job, working with people that, own their own business, working with clients. You you try to instruct people and they're so busy trying to tell you how to do things. And that's why I think with this list of people that we named that made bad decisions, that ended their career or stagnated it or canceled their rep, or should I say canceled their existence really. um it could be because they wouldn't take constructive criticism. Just like I told my dad, don't drink that energy drink. What do you need energy for? you know, you need to keep your heart intact. And he fussed at me, but he thought about it. And I'm just glad he thought about it. Same thing goes when you try to tell a fellow coworker or employee that things should go this way, or it didn't happen correctly when you did it, and their response is, I know, I was going to do that anyway. It was already in the works, or nothing at all. And
And
you can't grow like that.
and it's okay to be see see making mistakes. That to me, that's part of being human. And when you're being human, it's okay to own up to doing human stuff.
Mhm.
Sometimes you may do something that may be a little embarrassing, but hey, it's you. And you might not be the only one doing that. But at the end of the at the end of the day, we're all human. Um, and as long as you're not violating the innocence of someone else, or the peace, or the a person physically, man, that's it's okay. It's okay to be human. It's okay to be human. Now, I have a problem with being inhumane, doing something inhumane. That's inhuman. That's not human. But I love people that make mistakes and that's willing to say, you know what, oh, you're right. I did it. Yeah, I did it.
Mhm.
Just even if it's you know what, I did it. Just please don't tell nobody. I'm cool with that. I'm like, all right, I ain't gonna tell
Ah.
nobody, but let's look, just be aware. It's okay. Yeah. I have a problem when especially when somebody try to tell me I didn't see what I saw, or I didn't hear what I heard.
Mm.
Now, I got a problem with you at that
Well,
point.
speaking of a problem, it is late in the evening. I want to thank everyone for watching, that watched us tonight, that are going to watch us on demand. Continue to share the show, comment, let us know what you think. Give us some ideas on some topics. You can email us at ladonnarayshow@gmail.com. And it's nothing like landing the plane. Not because I think there's so many topics that we want to talk about. We come up with them all the time, and sometimes those topics don't make it to you. But the topics that you suggest will make it to you. So bring them on. Don't forget to bring them
Yes.
on. Put them in the email,
Yeah.
and we'll read it.
Yeah,
We'll get to it.
let's have some fun human conversations.
Oh my gosh. You know, Lorenzo, I'm so glad the aliens brought you back.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
Yeah.
that alien nation.
Yeah. How long were you up there with them when they abducted
What?
you?
What? Is this a Men in Black thing?
Well, you're a man in cream right now.
Oh
That's the
shoot.
color of your shirt.
Oh shoot.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Again, thank you so
Well,
much for
thank you all. Thank
watching.
you all.
This is always a pleasure. And I think we'll be on, not I think, we'll
Hey,
be on the radio in the morning.
and look, if you have an idea of something interesting you would like to hear us talk about, put it in the chat.
I
Let us.
just said that.
Oh, did you?
That's how I know you don't be listening.
Aliens. It's the aliens. It's like,
Mm. Yep. They either brought you back or they took you away.
right, right.
All right, guys. We're out of here. It's that time. Have a great night. Be safe and love
Yes.
on your loved
Stay
ones.
warm, peace and love.
Mm.